Alright, welcome back to Rickets Reef. Bit of a dilemma and a bit of a ta-da on a DIY project I did that I wasn't really going to talk about for a while until I tested it. But here's my Ecotech XR30 Pro Radion that I won from Reef Supplies. Fantastic. Super happy with that. Super excited. Great light. Very nice build quality. But there's some problems. And let me get to those problems. So first off is my aquarium. That light only will cover like a third. It will, anything other than a third, I get a spotlight effect because of the height that I can mount it, and just the orientation of the pucks. So they're two big bright pucks and they're in close proximity. I can't separate them. So it's a lot of light in a teeny tiny footprint. And that's cool, especially if you can put them high up. Like I go to people's houses, or I've seen people's houses, I've seen the aquarium stores, local fish stores. They've got those suckers 2 feet above their tank. And it actually makes sense and it works that way. But I'm 12 inches. 12 inches above my tank is basically where I can go with that. And I got to tell you, it's really hard to drown it out with these panels. So these panels, because it's so concentrated, right? So it's very a lot of light, very concentrated, and that's how they get their big PAR numbers. So these panels are great. I turn the blues off so it's not weird colors, or I turn them down to next to nothing. These panels are great. I get no disco effect, really nice shimmer, really good even light across my entire tank. These panels are wonderful. Driven at 100%, super bright. I don't usually like taking them above 70 because the drivers are cheap. I'll admit that. They're $1.50 drivers. I've popped 5 of them, bringing them above 170, and I'm down to like 3 replacements. So I am planning on replacing them with some better quality Meanwell drivers, which are, I think they're like $8 each. That's going to come in the future. It's just a quick switch, a couple of screws, no big deal. To make things easier in the long run, and will give more reliability. I also have to add a little more active cooling to the driver area. That will help, but you know, those drivers aren't great, so I have to work within their cheapness, my cheapness, right? But ultimately, the LEDs and the panels, spot on, fantastic, love them right now. So that brings me back to the XR30 Pro. I've got a giant spotlight effect when it's on. I tried it for a couple days and I hate it. I absolutely hate the spotlight effect. So whenever I'm down here looking at the tank or doing something with the tank, I'm going to want to turn the Radion off. And that's not really great in my opinion, or I'm going to have to sit there and suffer a spotlight. My workaround for that was the thing I wasn't going to show you for a while, is that thing. So if you see, I built a light mover. So what that is that's a 3 RPM motor that moves the light across the length of the tank, or as long as I want, slowly at the speed of the motor, or even slower if I time it down with a timer and do like little increments. So it's connected to, let's see if you can see it there. There's RC wheel at the end of the motor, and that's touching the track there. The track is just a pocket door track. And then there's this piece of wood. The motor's connected to a bracket to a piece of wood. And here, I'll turn it on. And so that moves the light across the tank until it hits one of these two kind of, you can see them there, these dongle things, these kind of stops, and there's a switch. And when that switch hits that stop, it reverses the polarity on the motor and sends it back the other way. So here, I'll show you. It'll hit it in a second. It's coming. It's coming.
It's coming. So yeah, even if I were just to do it this way, back and forth across the tank all day, it's a nice slow speed. It wouldn't really freak out corals too much, I don't think. That's the other thing, I don't think. Because I don't have corals yet, so I wouldn't be able to experiment. And come on, do your click. Right about now. So then it hits the thing and goes back the other way. So that's what that light mover does. And I had the XR30 Pro hanging from it. I'll turn it off. There we go. And it's an okay workaround. The problem there is that I've always got the spotlight effect. I don't feel like I'm using the full potential of the light. I'm certainly not using the full potential of the light because I'm just doing this strange workaround. I don't like the look of it, so I always have to turn it off, or I have to buy more lights. So I could buy, a couple of cheaper LED lights and put them there. Maybe some AI primes, because I can't afford. I would need 2 more of those to put on there. Even if I were to get the 15s, those are still pricey. There's a lot of money. Or my other option, which I'm toying with, is either selling or trading the XR30 Pro for like 3 AI primes and have them on the tank doing their thing. That should give me even spread over here, here, and here. So I don't have to be constantly turning things down or moving things back and forth. The other thing about moving things back and forth, where it might be good in, say, like a, I don't know, like a fish store or something like that, where it's constantly being monitored or cleaned and all that kind of stuff. It's an okay idea to save some money to bring a grow light over a large area and kind of light your corals that way. Because if you think about it in nature, corals aren't getting full sun all day every day, right? They get cloudy days where the sun is getting covered for periods of time. They get full cloudy days where sun's completely covered, and that could happen for days on end. So here we are with our aquariums, and we're actually creating an unnatural lighting environment for them. Something like a light mover is more natural, and that's what I was kind of going for. But in the home aquarium, we can do what we want. And generally speaking, we should also do what looks best for us, because it'll make us like our tanks more. I don't like my tank with a giant spotlight. I don't like the mover after testing it for a couple of days, because it just moves that spotlight from position to position. So my ultimate right now, or my kind of leaning most towards right now, is to trade or sell the light for something like AI primes. For the price of the XR30 Pro, I can get 3 AI primes and cover the whole tank. Or I could also get T5s. I could run some T5 tubes in here and get some nice T5 spread. I'm still getting my shimmer and some extra light from my LED panels, and that would probably be a really nice growing system. At the local fish store, the guy has a bunch of tanks with XR30 Pros, and they're nice looking and all, but the tank that has an old ATI 6 bulb T5 is growing corals and SPS faster and better than all of them. I don't know if he knows this, and that's why he's got most of his corals in that tank, but I've been going in there every day, off and on for the last couple months, and I've been looking at its corals, and that tank with just T5s is growing much better than the ones with Radions. Now I don't know if it's the spectrum he's got his set to, the distance, the intensity, but that's saying something. And with my last tank, I had T5s, and they did, that tank did really well. It was a T5 LED combo. So that might be the way I go here. I might put just 2, 3, or 4 T5 bulbs in the middle there. Probably 2 by the look of the space. And kind of get some more coverage, some more power into the system. And it'll be right across the middle. So
I'm not losing much T5 bleed. Like the majority of the light, it will actually be hitting the corals. So that's where I'm at with the lighting. That's a little secret that I've been kind of keeping in terms of the mover. And if you have any other thoughts or ideas, please share them, because I'm a little unsure of what to do here, and it's kind of annoying. All I know is the XR30 Pro does not fit my system right now. It's just, I don't think it's feasible long term. All right, later.